Hi, in this BrownSites 2.0 screencast, we're going to walk through adding a URL to another website. We're going to create an anchor, and we're going to also add an email address to our page. Let's start by selecting the Edit tab at the top of the page. To add a URL, we're going to select the tab to get our URL. So here, I'm going to select the tab. I'm going to copy this URL. I'm going to come back to our page, and where it says Historic Providence, Rhode Island, I'm going to highlight this text. To add a URL, we're going to simply select the link up at the top here, this little chain. When you select the link, it brings you to the link type, the protocol, and the URL. I'm going to simply paste in the URL. I'm going to select OK. Once I've selected OK, you should see this highlight and turn red. To test out our link, I'm going to scroll to the bottom. I'm going to save our page. Once the page is saved, I'm going to select Historic Providence. Once I select Historic Providence, it brings me to Brown's History, a timeline. So we know we've successfully added a URL to our page. I'm going to use the back button to get back to our page. So now that we've successfully added a URL to our page, we're going to add an anchor. What an anchor is used for is when I select the link, I want it to take me to a certain portion of the page, typically the bottom of the page. So to create an anchor, we need to go back into the Edit tab. So select Edit. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom to where I want my anchor to move. So additional program sounds like a good place. There is a flag icon. If you hover above, it'll say anchor. Select the icon, and you have to provide the anchor with a name. The name of the anchor has to be in all lowercase. I'm going to call this anchor Computer. I'm going to select OK. You should see the little flag here. Okay, so with that set, I'm going to move up to the top. I'm going to highlight the text I want to be able to select. That'll take me to that anchor. In this case, I'm going to highlight Talented and Motivated. I'm going to select the link. Once the link is selected, where it says link type, I'm going to drop this down and I'm going to select link to anchor in the text. Where it says by anchor name, drop this down and you should see your anchor name. I'm going to select Computer and I'm going to say OK. Talented and Motivated should be highlighted. When I scroll to the bottom of my page, I'm going to save. To test the anchor out, I'm going to select Talented and Motivated, and it should move me to the bottom of my page, like so. Let's do that one more time. So when I select Talented and Motivated, it brings me to the bottom where I set my anchor. Finally, we're going to add an email address. So to add an email address, we want to select the Edit tab again. I'm going to highlight the text where I want the email address to show up. So I'm going to say Brown's Vibrant and Diverse Community. So when someone selects the email address, it should send an email back to the originator. So when I have this selected, I'm going to select the link. Link type, this time we're going to drop down and select email. Who do I want to receive the email? So I'm going to put in pass@brown.edu. With this version of BrownSites, it allows you to add a subject and a body type to a message. So I'm going to put in thank you, and in the body, thank you for your interest in our training session. Best regards, computer education. I'm going to select OK, and you should see the icon in edit mode for an email address. I'm going to save this page. When I select the email, it will bring up the email that we just created. I can press send on an email, but in this case, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go back to our page, and now you have your email. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you for viewing our screencast. Have a good day.